Well, hello, welcome back. You're watching Anything and Everything. We appreciate you watching our channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You never know what we're going to post on here. When we're not traveling or doing renovations or other stuff around the house, there's always something to do when you own a house. I like to dabble in some arts and crafts. In the last video, I showed you how to make a set of earrings to match this bracelet. So today I was going to show you how I make the bracelet. There's different ways of doing it. This is the way I do it. This is just one of the types of bracelets I make. It's a very simple one. It looks very elegant. It's very pretty. It's got lots of shine to it, which is what I like. I use Swarovski crystals, and the seed beads are just glass beads with some silver to them. For today's video, I'm just going to adjust the camera so that you can watch along to see what I'm doing. So I'm using fishing line, fire line fused crystal, and it's a 6-pound test. And I've cut quite a length off. I sure don't want to run short of line when I'm making a bracelet or anything else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run it through my thread conditioner. Thread conditioner is like a wax, and that just prolongs the life of your line so that it doesn't dry out and your jewelry will last longer. You want to make sure you do the ends as well. I just hold my finger down on the thread and then pull it through. If you want to be really particular, you can measure the amount of thread you used, and then you'll know for next time when you make a bracelet or whatever jewelry you're making, earrings, necklace. That way you won't be wasting any thread. I kind of just eyeball it. So we're done with that thread conditioner for now. We're going to thread the needle. I squeeze the end of the line a little bit so that it'll go through the needle easier. I use number 10 and number 12, usually number 12 because it has a little bit of and these are beading needles, has a little bit bigger eye, easier for me to thread it. Okay, once you've got the needle threaded, on the other end, I'm going to put a different colored little bead on it, and the reason I'm doing this is because when I put the beads on my line, I don't want them to fall off. I'm just going to do a real loose and leave a bit of tail so you have something to work with to get rid of that line, extra line. Just do a loose knot. Doesn't have to be a tight knot, just something to stop the beads from going. I'm using some orange iridescent beads today, different sizes. I'm using this kind here for the larger beads, and these are kind of oval shaped for the smaller beads, and then just some white seed beads. So I'm going to start with 3 of these white seed beads. Drop them down the line, and then I'm going to start with one of these oval ones. I'm doing the same design as I did with this green one, so I'm going to do 3 more of the white seed beads. And another oval. Now, if you're making this for someone else, you'll definitely want to get them to measure their wrist. When I make a bracelet, I usually measure it around my own wrist. I have an average wrist size. For my granddaughter, I made it just a little bit smaller. And I made a couple of different sizes. That's why I have one of the bracelets left over, because I wasn't exactly sure. I didn't want to ask her how big her wrist was because it was a surprise gift for her graduation. So I kind of made a couple of different sizes just so I would have the right size for her. Okay, so I did 3 of the smaller beads, 3 white ones, and I'm going to do a larger bead. And 3 of the smaller again. They're called seed beads, these smaller ones. 1 of the oval. You can do whatever colored beads you want. Mix and match to your heart's delight. All of the equipment I use is available on Amazon. Some of it you can buy at Walmart or Hobby Lobby or Michael's, whatever. Oh, actually, I don't know what Michael's has now for beading, because they've cut back a lot on the do-it-yourself stuff, and they have more of the ready-made stuff, I found. So especially when it came to making my crepe paper flowers, I couldn't get any crepe paper at Michael's at all to do my flowers. So I had to order it online. It was the only place I could get it. Even Walmart didn't have it. It's another thing I like to do is make crepe paper flowers. When you travel, live plants don't fare well when you're gone. And you hate to, when you're gone a couple months, hate to impose on somebody to water your plants all the time. So when we started going south in 2008, I got rid of my house plants because they just didn't survive the winter. We don't go south anymore for the winter. We haven't for a few years. But we do go, like this year, we went for a month to Newfoundland and Labrador. So we're still gone a while, and next year we're hoping to go to Alaska. So another reason to hit that subscribe button so that you can see our Alaskan adventures as we go through Alberta and British Columbia and Yukon and see how I'm doing for length here. Because these oval beads are a little bigger than the smaller beads I used on this bracelet. So I don't want to make it too long. So I'm doing pretty good here for length. I think I'll do one more big one. And then we'll do our 3 oval ones on the end. How are we doing here? Yeah, that looks pretty close. See how this loop at the end here is nicely stopped my beads from going around. I'm going to tighten that loop just a little bit because I see some of my beads are getting caught in there. deal with that when we get to the other end again. So one more of the oval beads. Oh, come on, I can't find the hole. And 3 more of the seed beads. Okay, just gonna double check. I've got 3 seed beads. One is hung up in that loop at each end. I've got 3 ovals at each end. And then large, small, large, small, large, small. Okay, just double check because I get busy talking and then I forget what I'm doing. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, just let me get that seed bead out of there. Okay. Sometimes you gotta do stuff like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use what they call a thread protector. It's a little horseshoe. Hope you can see that in my hand. And that just keeps the thread from fraying, because if the thread was on the link, it would there is some pull on it, so this just keeps the thread from fraying. So you just loop it through one side like this, up and around and down the other side. There's a little channel for the thread to go in. So it looks like that. And then you pull it tight in the channel. So we're going to go tighten that up. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go down through our bracelet again. Make sure you go through every bead because you don't want your thread to show. Nice part with these long needles, you can go through several beads at a time. I'm going to pull that nice and tight. Because if it's loose, your thread is definitely going to show. We're going to go all the way to the other end. If you can thread a needle, you can make a bracelet. It's that simple. And if it's a gift, you can make it in their favorite color. You can make earrings to match. You can make a necklace to match. You make it like this, just make it a little bit longer. And when you get to the other end, we're doing the same thing. We're going to put another thread protector on it. That's these little horseshoe guys. This one's not cooperating. Pull it nice and tight. And we're going to go back down through our bracelet. Again, make sure you go through all the beads. Sometimes it's easy to miss one of these small ones. You can make it all in large beads, you can make it all in small beads, whatever you want. I keep my beads in these boxes here that have compartments in them. You can buy them at the dollar store or Walmart. And then my other box I have here, I had an electric mixer that broke. So I kept the box it came in, or the carrier it came in, and I use that now for my beading supplies. And it's not just jewelry you can do with beads. I've seen people make hummingbirds and butterflies, and there's so much you can do with beads. Again, up through the thread protector, up one side and down the other. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to go down a few sets of beads, and I'm going to tie off my thread to secure it. So to do that, I'm going to make a loop, put my needle through it. Make sure when you pull it tight that it's in between the same beads that you started at, so you don't have a loop around other beads. Go down another couple sets, do the same thing again. I usually do this 3 times. I don't like my jewelry to fall apart, so I don't take any chances. So one more time. You do whatever you feel comfortable doing. Pull it nice and tight. And then we're going to go a couple more sets down and get rid of our excess thread or line, wire, whatever you want to call it. Cut it nice and close to the beads. That way it won't show. Now on the other end, we can take out our bead we had in there. We're going to loop this, put this through in our needle, get the right end here. Okay, we've got our thread through there. So now we're going to go up and through our little horseshoe thread protector. Pull it nice and tight. And we're going to go down the other side. And then we're going to do like we did on the other side. We're going to go through a few sets. And we're going to tie off this end. Again, making sure that our knot is where we came out of the bead. Pull it nice and tight. I do this a couple more times. Amazon now has kits that you can buy that have your beads and your earring hoops and everything in them that you'll need or to make bracelets. Now I'm going to go down a few sets and then I'm going to cut the excess thread. Oops. Cut it nice and close to the beads. Make sure I don't throw my needle away. Can get rid of that. Okay. So what I like to do now with my horseshoes is I like to squeeze them together a little bit. Make them a little more streamlined. Just like that. I think it just looks a little bit nicer. And then we're going to put a link on the end. And I need to grab my clasp, which I forgot to get. You can get these nice magnetic ones too. I really like them for bracelets. If you're by yourself, they're really easy to it's called a magnetic clasp, and they're really easy to do up and undo. I bought my beading stuff on eBay several years ago, and there's so many in the packages that they last a long time. And this is the clasp that you use on the end. And again, you can get different sizes in these as well. I like the bigger one, it's easier to use. So besides having your scissors to cut your line, you want to have some needle nose pliers like this. And the other pliers I have are the ones with the round tips. And I also have crimpers. Because sometimes when you're making a bracelet, you want crimpers as well. So now what I'm going to do, I have my little chain link. And when you open these, you'll always open them sideways. Pull them sideways. Hold one side with your fingers and then open them like that. So they're like that. Never pull them apart from the end. I'm going to put one through the bracelet, one through the clasp, and then to close them, you're going to do it sideways again. And that helps that link to keep its shape and not spread. You'll see that it looks just like it did at the beginning. And we need some place for that clasp to go into, so I'm going to put a little link on the other end as well. Again, opening it from the side. If you get a little bit of space in there, don't be afraid to very gently, you can push it together. If you do it too hard, they're going to go beside each other and it's just not going to work. And if you don't want to use fishing line for your bracelet, you can also get these beading wire, and it comes in different colors and you can put the beads on that. Or you can also get the transparent elastic wire, which is it stretches as well, and then you just tie it in a knot and you can just loop it over your wrist. So I just wanted to show you some of the other bracelets that I've made in the past. There's a few different designs in there and different clasps that you can use, different sizes. This one here and this one here is a design I came up with. I call it a ladder bracelet. There's the one I made today. This is on that plastic cord, the elasticized cord. You just slip that over your wrist. Whoops. There's magnetic beads in there. This is the one that has the magnetic clasp. And like I said, it's really easy. It just goes together like that. The camera to focus on it. And then when you want to take it apart, you just put your thumbnail in between there. Like that, and it just comes apart. And that one's really easy if you have trouble doing the clasp by yourself. But yeah, it just shows you the different variations you can do. Oh, there's so many different patterns out there. There's the earrings I made in the last video. And different color combinations that you can do. This one here is my one I wear at Christmas and on Canada Day with the red and white. And that matches the earrings that I showed you in the other video. So yeah, that's all there is to making a beautiful bracelet. I think I'll make some earrings to match this as well. We hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for subscribing, and thank you for watching. We truly appreciate your support, and you never know what we're going to post next. We're anything and everything, so the mind is a mysterious thing, and we'll see what we come up with, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you again for watching. Take care, and until the next video.